Hi, welcome to Fightmaster Yoga. I'm Lesley Fightmaster, and I'm here with my new friend Jess, who has a channel called Painless Golfing.
Yes.
So today she's going to be my teacher, and she's going to bring me through a little sequence for golfers that will especially help people with lower back pain. So whether you're a golfer or you have lower back pain, this one is for you. So get your mat out and get on something comfortable, and let's get started.
Awesome. So thank you, Lesley, for having me. I'm going to have you start all the way lying flat face up. And just to start, you're going to go into a nice bridge pose. So feet are flat. And again, we're really focusing on low back pain here. So the vertebra is the best thing that you guys can do to really roll that spine. So take a nice deep inhale in through the nose, Lesley. And as you exhale out the mouth, really snap the belly button into the spine and lift those hips. As you draw those hips up, you'll feel this activation. And from here, we're activating the glutes, getting the lower back to really go and feel that tightness. So while we're holding here, I want you to do a slight pulse. So just with the hips, do a nice pulse up and down. So you really feel this activating in the low back all the way through and getting those glutes going and firing. Now, once those glutes are firing, what are we doing with the low back, right? We're protecting the low back just from getting those glutes to be activate. So just stop at the top and hold here. Again, breathe big belly. Nice fire breathing out through the mouth. Exhaling it out. Great job. And again, in. Really expand that rib cage and exhale. Good. Really feel that connection. You can see how her glutes are activating, as well as she's keeping the quads squeezing together. So almost like you have a nice beach ball, or you're holding a yoga block if you have that at home, getting that to activate. And one vertebra at a time, you're going to bring your spine down to the mat, rolling it all the way flat. Good. And now push the hips away from you. So getting that nice anterior pelvic tilt. So we're spilling those hips forward, and as we do that, again, we're going to breathe it back in, keeping the spine nice and flat, getting the belly to tighten. Really working and noticing our breath as we do this. So breathing in, pushing the hips away, and as you exhale, push those hips back in, belly buttons again snapping down. So we're flattening the spine. We're using the ground and the floor to lengthen our vertebra. Again, breathing, pushing it away, absolutely. And exhale, pushing that back. And now I'm gonna have you come all the way back up with the hips. Perfect. So now that you have that down, we're gonna do this about 5 times. So again, inhale, big belly breathing. Exhale, one vertebra at a time, coming all the way down. Hips come down, chest comes in. Make sure when you're coming down, you're keeping the rib cage activated and glued to the body. Perfect. You're doing great. And let's slowly again breathing up in, coming back up, squeezing those glutes. Yes, perfect. And you can see how sometimes you have that tendency to want to lift with the rib cage. You want to just tuck that rib cage in. Good. And slowly bring it back down, one vertebra at a time. Just these tiny micro motions that are really going to help you activate and become aware of where you're supposed to be at. Now let's stop there, and I want you to pull the knees into your chest. So nice big hug. So give yourself a nice big hug. And if you can't grab those knees with the forearms, go ahead and just grab with the palms. So it really depends exactly, or behind the thighs, really where you're at. So rocking from left to right is going to massage the low back. And just by pulling those knees even further out, and like in a windshield. So making that big U shape from left to right. Awesome. You can even feel this in your IT band and on the outsides of the glutes as you're releasing and letting go of that. Good. And again, once more, back and forth, left and right. Perfect. And let's bring it back to center. Connect with the mat once more. Push the vertebra down as your shoulders and upper body are relaxed. Hug the knees into the chest, a nice squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And what I'm gonna have you do is extend the right leg out. And we're gonna do a nice internal twist here. So you're gonna bring that left leg all the way over, grabbing the knee, and you can feel this all on the side of the back. If the shoulder isn't connected to the mat, that's all right. That's our goal. We want to get both of those shoulders completely flat with the mat as we're rolling and we're peeling our upper body away from the lower body as we push in that opposite direction. So releasing this palm, I'm gonna have you take the knee, and I want you to alternate and actually make a nice 4, if that makes sense. So almost like you're in tree pose. So yeah, you're doing great. The right leg is straight, exactly, and the foot comes to the inner thigh. Yes. And I'm gonna have you go all the way out with the knee. Perfect, into that 4. Open up that hip, and then again, back towards me. Yes, and you can even cross that foot over if it's more comfortable for you. It really depends your flexibility. So starting with that, we're gonna breathe it in as you open up, and exhale, bring it again towards me. Good. And you can even feel this disassociation here. You're disassociating the lower body from the upper body. And let's slowly come back to center. Both feet are flat. Perfect. And we're gonna switch sides. So left leg goes straight, and we're gonna cross that right knee now over the body just to begin. And we're gonna open it up to the side. Yes, perfect. And you can see here how she's really lengthening through the spine, and this upper body, the shoulders are peeling back and relaxed and down, and the low back is pushing. Perfect. Absolutely. Make sure when you're doing this to protect the low back. You don't want to go past that point of pain or pinching. You want to stay within the realm of, this feels good, this is a good stretch, and always using that breathing to connect with the body. So now let's do those nice breathing 4s. So we're keeping that knee exactly all the way wide open. Yes, and you can even feel the hip open, right? I love it. Breathing it in and exhaling it all the way back over. And just doing this a few times to feel that release as you slowly come back and forth. Perfect, Lesley. And let's do this one more time. Inhaling it and peeling that lower body away from the upper body. You can see how your upper body is stabilizing, and this work is really being done in the hips. This is actually a great pose even for digestion. You're really working in the core and getting the ascending and transcending, descending choline to work together. And now let's let go of that. And I'm just gonna have you hug the right knee into the chest. Great. And what I want you to do is make a nice T, if that makes sense. You're gonna make a T with the knee, right? And we're gonna go so up, down, and then left, right. Perfect, up, down, and then when you're hugging the knee in towards the chest is gonna be where you're making that nice T. So it's a capital T.
Oh.
I love it. Up, down, and then left, right. Perfect, exactly. Yes, good job. And this is working even deeper into our hip socket and our hip joint. And obviously, if we're doing any kind of wind removing pose, or we're doing any kind of low back release, you want to make sure that you're moving with the body, flowing, and again, keeping that connection. So if it's too tight or tense, slow it down. And let's slowly come out of that. And we're gonna do the other side now, doing that nice T. Perfect job. Yeah. So in and then left and right. So squeeze it all the way in and then left and right. Perfect. And then come back to center and make that T. Great job. Awesome. How does this feel?
Good.
Good. Awesome. And big breath in. Exhale, pull, pull, pull. Left and right. And one more time. And as we're breathing, make sure you're breathing in through the nose and you're exhaling out the mouth. And we're always using our diaphragm. A lot of the times we have a tendency to lift our rib cage, right? When we breathe, and we really want to get our big belly breathing, I like to call it, as you're breathing in through the spine. This way you're connecting with your back and mid-back, because when you have a lot of low back pain, let's actually go and have you go into a wind removing pose and just give those knees another hug as a nice release, and rock from side to side. When you're doing a lot of low back pain or low releases, what you want to do and what you want to be sure of is that you're consciously using your breathing and connecting it to your body. So great job doing that, Les. and let's slowly let that go. I'm actually gonna have you flip over now, and we're gonna have you on your hands and knees into our nice tabletop pose. So Lesley, now that I have you in tabletop, your shoulders are stacked with your wrists, fingertips are spread wide, and I really want you to retract the shoulder blades together. Perfect. And in this, I'm going to have you lift up the right palm and the left leg simultaneously. And as we do this, the hip has a tendency to want to lift up as we slowly correct the hip, keeping the hips aligned with the front shoulder. So we want to keep that nice straight spine throughout this. The right thumb is facing up. Good. And we're just going to do nice, small, tiny pulses here. We're lifting with the heel and with the thumb. And as you're doing this and you're squeezing up, I want you to remember you're lengthening. Pretend that I'm pulling on your back foot and on your front palm at the same time. This way, you really feel the length as you inhale up. Good, perfect. And we're gonna do this 2 more times. So really exhale, exhale it up and let that go. Good job. Big toes touch. We're gonna come into child's pose just as a nice release. Fingertips are spread wide. We're concaving the chest down. Head is heavy. Just a nice deep inhale. And you can actually see, if you're breathing into the rib cage, you'll feel it in the shoulders. I want you to breathe into your belly. You'll feel the connection from your tummy onto your thighs, and you're going to feel the vertebra expand as you do that. So breathe into the belly, and I can even feel on her low back, and as the middle of the back opens up. I love this. Perfect. And now let's slowly come back to our tabletop, breathing it in, bracing our body. Fingertips are spread wide, shoulders are stacked with hips, knees are stacked with our hips. Nice and stable. Good. And I can even feel the activation, and I can see the muscles going. And we're going to do that opposite side now. So we're going to take the left palm now and that right foot like a straight hip is nice and level. Good. And a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll even take a pole just behind to see, okay, is this aligned? Are my hips aligned? Because you can only go off of that so much. So we're going to do that. Nose, those nice tiny pulses. Get that thumb face up. Good. Perfect. Absolutely. Doing great. And we're making these tiny motions so that we're actually activating and we're feeling the muscles, because what we want to do is not only lengthen but strengthen the body so that you feel stable enough when you're doing golf, a round of golf, or even if you're doing another yoga class with Lesley, that you're activating and you're using those muscles. So now let's slowly come out of that, Les. Awesome, great job. Back into child's pose. This time we're going to do a traditional child's pose. This is one of my favorite ones because not only am I relaxing my upper body and chest, but I'm also feeling it in my low back. So you can see her arms have fallen forward. Her head is heavy and she's nice and relaxed. And you can even rock from side to side. Feel this deep in the hips. So again, a lot of the times when you're feeling low back pain or you have that pain, it's not exactly specifically the low back, it's the muscles surrounding, and that's actually the reason why you're having that pain. So those hip flexors, the IT band, so doing exercises that stretch and strengthen around those muscles are gonna help you at home. Awesome job, Les. And let's slowly come out of that, come back into tabletop. Great job. And what I'm gonna have you do now is I'm going to have you take the right leg and I'm gonna have you put it over the left knee. So you're gonna do a nice curtsy. It's gonna cross over. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna have you sit all the way back. Good, so nice and slow. Ooh.
Like that?
Yes. probably right to about here. Oh. Yeah, perfect. Good. You're so flexible, right? Awesome job. Okay, so you have that curtsy you're just crossing that right knee over the left, and you're just pushing back. And the goal here is to feel this right hip. Good, and you can feel that joint even open. And you're even internally rotating into that hip. And that's the goal, what you want to do actually in the backswing, in the golf swing. So by doing this, not only are you releasing that low back pain, but you're also getting that, shaving off those strokes. Awesome job. Good. And you can use the upper body obviously to stabilize, right? The more you push back into those hips, the deeper you're getting into that joint. Good. And let's rock from left to right. Good. Left to right. Perfect. Great job. And if this is too intense for you at home, what you can do is just lift up that left knee and you can push back, if that makes sense. So let's try the basic. So this is more of, I guess, the advanced. The basic is just to lift the left knee.
This one?
The other knee.
The other
Sorry.
left knee?
The other left knee, yes. Perfect. And what you're going to do is rock the hips back. Exactly. And almost cross over like you would do the curtsy. So coming back to forward and crossing back and down. Perfect. Exactly. Good. So you can even, again, feel this deep in the hip joint. Great job. And let's slowly come out of that. And we're going to switch sides. So doing the same thing that we did before on the opposite side, going to your level, either trying that advanced, it's the other side. Yes, you got this.
I have right and left issues.
Oh, definitely. Me too. I actually, mine is a counting issue.
Oh.
So when I'm with my clients, I always tell them, I'm like, you have to count for me because I will always give you more. So I have to have a timer on me. I love it. Good, good. And again, yeah, breathing it in and out. Remember to count those times because I'll be a helping hand. Yes. And good. And let's stop at center. And I want you to rock. So center is right here. Good. I want you to rock from left to right. So when you find center, the hips are over the knees. You can even look at yourself in a mirror when you're doing this just to kind of see where you're at. And let's show them the basic. And this will be obviously our last pose.
So let's see.
Good. So we're just lifting. You're actually going to do the right knee now. So the right knee is going to lift. Good. And you're going to push back. And the knee's going to cross over and do that nice curtsy. Good. Yeah. Perfect. Back to center. And curtsy over. Knee comes back. Hips come back. Awesome job. Good. Yes, and you can even feel the mind-body connection. You kind of have to slowly get into it. Sometimes it'll feel awkward at first, but it's definitely something that is worth it if you want to maybe start out your round doing this before so that you're not getting that pain. And awesome, let's come back to center, meet in child's pose. All right, so Lesley, as you're in child's pose, focusing on your breathing, inhaling in through the mouth now. And as you exhale, closing the lips and letting it slowly come out the nose. So really catching that breath, right? Like we're catching air. And we want to breathe it in and slowly again out through that nose. Good. And we're just going to take 5 deep breaths while we're here. Just letting go and relaxing and becoming aware of where you're feeling it specifically in your body and how you can deepen into this pose. As you feel your hips even sink out and you melt down even further, getting ready for our last pose into Savasana, one of my favorite poses in yoga. Not just the aspect of the stillness, but the fact that you really get to connect here with you and where you're at with your body. And let's slowly come out of that. Palms are gonna peel away, and we're gonna put them right in front of our face as we slowly flip to facing up and all the way flat on the mat. So as we're in our corpse pose, Savasana, we're going to have our palms face up, shoulders are rolled back and down. Sometimes you'll feel a tense in the upper body and back. You want to really peel those shoulders back and even move the hips from side to side to get completely flat and still. And we're going to rest here in our Savasana for a minute. Toes are face out, completely relaxed. And this is the body's way of connecting and realigning everything that you just did. All that work you just put into these poses are now all connecting through your body, just from lying in this pose as our recovery. And to be aware of our breathing, again, we're breathing in through the nose now, really filling up that belly and exhaling out the mouth slowly. Good. And I'd like to end on a quote as Lesley does. Fightmaster Yoga, this lovely lady here in front of me resting in her Savasana. Love in your heart isn't meant to stay. Love isn't love until you give it away. As you become aware of your breath and you're slowly coming out of that Shavasana, becoming aware of the fingers, the toes, the belly, the hips, peel the eyes, and take a nice deep breath with the arms and feet in opposite directions. Inhale, and slowly come up, and we're gonna meet in our seated position.
So let's sit up nice and tall, and thank you so much. I feel so good. My back feels great. My hips feel great. So thank you, Jess.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget, well, first of all, let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. Let's bring the hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Our hands to the heart center to remind us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications, sending out all this positive energy that we've created, all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us today, and don't forget to go to Painless Golf. We'll put a link below. Check out Jess's channel, and thanks for coming today. Go to fightmasteryoga.com, join our mailing list, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.